Hey, this is Joe Shear with Century 21 Premier Group again, just with another video on my series of frequently asked questions. This one is on the buying timeline. How much time does it take to buy a home? What timeline should I expect? When should I start looking for a home if I want to finish on any particular date? And that's a tough question to answer, but I'll work backwards. Generally, by the time you get to the point where you want to buy a home and you put in an offer, we usually write in between 30 and 60 days roughly. 45 days would be a very common time frame. If I know that the lender has done all of their work and they're confident they can get it done faster, than we put as early as like a 30-day close. And sometimes the buyers and or sellers have a reason they want them to close on a certain date, so we put that in. So then maybe their lease is up or something like that. But generally, when you put in that offer, 45 days, let's say, and the first 10 days is wrapped up in inspections, I usually encourage people to get an inspection. It's a few $100, and it's just a little more assurance that you're not going to run into any surprises. They can't find everything because they can't see into everywhere, but generally they do a very good job of going over the property very thoroughly and letting you know things that you probably wouldn't have noticed. And they peek up in the attic and things like that. If it's not snowing, they look on the roof, and et cetera, et cetera. After that, you're really waiting for the lender to do their job. They have to go through underwriting. They, for the most part, they're underwriting the buyer, and they're going to make sure that they have all their documentation. Sometimes it's all done, but they're going to ask for the buyer to clarify and make sure they're still employed, et cetera, et cetera. They're also going to do an appraisal on the home, make sure that what they're lending against is worth that much money. They don't want to loan $200,000 against a house that's only worth $175,000, let's say. The part that's hard to answer on the timeline is how much time do you need to find a home, and it's different for all parties. Some of them look online, boom, and then when they're ready, they see the home they want. They go see one home, and they love it. It's in the neighborhood they want, and they buy it. Other people look for a year, and they go look at the houses, and they want one that's they have a whole list of criteria that must be met, and so it's really hard to say. It's impossible to say. It depends on the person involved. So that's why I started the video with it's hard to say exactly how much time you need, because finding the home is a difficult part, and it's especially difficult in the market we've been in here in 2016, where there's not a lot of homes to buy, but there's a lot of buyers. So we wait until one that meets the criteria, and you got to go out and look at it right away, otherwise it's going to be gone. But you might still be competing with 3 or 4 people to buy that home. So again, it's tough in a market like that to buy a home. And there's been a lot of people that have just said, I'm done, I'm going to wait till next year. And they're going to pay probably higher prices next year, but they're tired of the competition. So anyway, there it is. Could be I suppose the average, a couple months to find a home that you want. Maybe a month, maybe 2 months. Sometimes a couple weeks is all. And again, sometimes 1 day. But after that, 45 days to close, and that's a pretty good timeline. So if a person knows themselves and knows what it's going to be like to be out looking for a home, or knows how picky they are, etc., then they can get a better grasp on an exact timeline of when to start looking. So anyway, Joe Shear, Century 21 Premier Group. All my contact information is below, so take a look there. And thank you very much. Like this video. Thank you. Bye-bye.